That is much better. My wife and I finally bought our own place together and we shifted in just not too long ago. That's really cool, but it's been crazy busy for us, setting things up and whatnot. As you can tell, this video is not my usual video about wildlife and photography. I just thought it'd be really cool to show you a quick tour about how I set up my YouTube studio here as well as my desk setup. So I'll just switch over to the DJI camera right now and take you on a quick tour behind the scenes and show you what it's like over here. This is the entrance of the study room that my wife and I share. We have two desks inside there, and as you can see, right outside here I've got a no photography and no video recording sign, along with all kinds of video recording tools inside. So let's go into the room. And now you can see this desk here is my wife's one, and the one right behind me is my own desk. So let's take a look at my desk first and what's over here. We'll start off with the camera side of things. On the left side of the desk, you can see my camera. I'm still using the Nikon Z6 II, and it's serving me well. I don't need any kind of crazy video for my A-roll footage, so the Z6 II is fine, but of course it does not have a flip-out screen, and that's why I have to get something like this, which is a monitor to see myself on screen basically. So if I just turn that camera on and turn this monitor on, you can actually see that there is an image of whatever is in front. This is what it looks like in front of me. Along with the Z6 II, I'm actually using the Viltrox 20mm f2.8, which gives me a very nice wide field of view. And you'll also notice that in front of the lens there is this device over here. Take a look. This is the Mbit Full or Prawn Store teleprompter. It's a very affordable teleprompter. So what happens is I have a phone and I'll just place it right over here, and as the words go by on the phone, I can actually see it inside the reflection here. So that's pretty neat. The whole camera setup is actually supported by this middle column of a tripod that I actually just put together, clamp onto the table. And then right beside it, we actually see that there is this audio arm. So this is a very generic boom arm that you can clamp to the table. And what I have over here is just a cheap Boya microphone. Provides decent sound quality. It doesn't require any batteries, and I just run a 3.5mm cable all the way down and into my camera. So that's how this works. You will not see the microphone in frame when I am doing my A-roll talking. So this is always just kept slightly out of frame above my head. Finally, we have this light over here. This light over here is from Celens, I believe. It's what it's called. It's just a very flat 35cm diameter light, LED light panel that does, I think, 3 different kinds of color temperatures. So right now I'm having it on daylight balance, which is the way I usually like it. And the reason why I chose this particular light is because it has a pretty small footprint. I cannot have anything that has soft boxes on it because I stay in a pretty small space, as you can tell. So we want to keep the equipment footprint as small as possible, and therefore I got this really affordable and really thin LED light. And I think that provides me with just enough soft light on my face that I think looks good enough. Okay, so moving on to my desk. This is actually a standing desk. It's imported from China, from Taobao, if you guys know what that is. It's a decent desk, nothing to write home about. It has the usual functions that you would see from a standing desk, and I like this walnut color that I think complements the rest of the furniture in my house, along with this forest green desk mat. I don't know if you can tell it's forest green, but it's basically a forest green desk mat. And I'm also still running the M1 Mac Mini that's at the bottom there of my desk riser. The M1 Mac Mini is still powerful enough to do all my photo and video editing, and I think it has been serving me pretty well, so I don't think that I need to change. Although I am quite tempted to switch over to the M4 Mac Mini because that thing is so much smaller and quite significantly more powerful as well, but maybe for later on. Over here on the monitor side, I've got the BenQ. I think it's a 31-inch monitor of sorts. I cannot remember the exact model, but it's pretty big. I like it. I do not need a dual monitor screen for what I do. So 31 inches is large enough and I like it. It's color accurate as well. These are just very cheap generic speakers. I don't really care about those. I also have a set of headphones there that, wireless headphones just for editing if I need to keep the noise level down. And then this is my 8TB hard drive that I edit and store most of my footage on. The chair itself is from a company called Take a Seat. It's a local company. Not sponsored, but if you guys want to sponsor me, I would be more than happy to. But I think what's really cool is to be able to see what's in my background. So this shelf behind me, I brought it over from my old place. This is probably one of the few pieces of furniture that I brought over from my old house. And you can see it's still in fairly good condition. So what I have over here mounted onto the shelf is some kind of tube light that has this orange color temperature, and that's giving me basically a kicker on the back of my head. If you can see right now, that's giving me a kicker. So when I sit on my chair and do my earroll talking, that's also giving me the kicker. On my shelf itself, you will notice all kinds of knickknacks. I have that very famous fake IKEA plant. That's a Lego of my cat. And then more gifts from overseas. This is pretty cool. This, aside from the tooth of a gharial, is actually the exoskeleton of my praying mantis when it molted. So for context, I used to have a pet praying mantis a couple of years ago. It lived for about a year, but I managed to get its molt when it was at its final stage of molting, and that's its molt basically. This one's also pretty cool. So this is actually the fossilized tooth of a Mosasaurus, which lived, let me see, 73 million years ago. So it's an actual fossilized tooth of a sea creature that is from Morocco. More Lego things here. Orangutans and elephants, as well as a glow-in-the-dark Triceratops. All kinds of knickknacks from my collections. On the second layer of the shelf, I do have a couple of books. People have gifted me all kinds of various books, some awards. This one is interesting. This right here is the very first camera that I ever got. So most people get a mobile camera for their first ever camera or some kind of photography camera. I actually got a camcorder. So that's why I'm so into video. Video is basically my forte and my strength. I've started with video since I was really young, with my first camera being essentially a video camera. So unfortunately, this camera is not working at the moment. I do not have the charger for the batteries, but I'm really hoping to be able to restore it one day, find a charger for this battery. But it's ancient technology, so it might be a bit tricky to find. But we'll see, maybe one day I'll do a video on using this, my first ever camera, to go and shoot wildlife and see what the differences are. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be drastic. More awards, and that's my charging station below, and another piece of charging station below. And right beside that, I've also got my dry box. You might be wondering why this particular table over here has all this still not removed yet, but that's because this was actually shipped from China as well, and when they shipped it over, they actually screwed it up. And you can see a massive dent here, right? So they forgot to put the, or they didn't put it properly, the foam, if you will, the protective covering when you bring it over in a crate. They forgot to protect the area, and the whole thing got crushed. They're still going to send it over, a new table, but that will come just a bit later, maybe a month from now. And yeah, that's essentially my little YouTube and desk studio in a HDB flat in the HDB room, right? Maybe next time I'll give a house tour if you guys want, but for now, this is it. This is my room setup. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.